Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Well, here we are at the almost the beginning of 2025 and thankfully the end of 2024 with all the shit that was going on around the world and still haven't been able to get rid of the rascal that happened to find its way into the highest office of this land. Hopefully, we will be able to vote him out once him and his coalition, NDP, would be brave enough to call for an election. And I'm sure that most of Canadians will vote for conservatives and we'll get our country back, our freedom, our rights back, and hopefully we'll be setting out towards the way Canada always was and appreciate its values as we always did. So by voting anything that we don't like out, we stand guard for thee. There we go. So let's hope we'll have an election and we can get rid of this government's policies that have not been Canadian, and who knows where they have come from and what their motivation and backup is. Congratulations to the American brothers and friends who have been successful in choosing a leader for themselves who believes in old-fashioned values and balance in the society and freedom for the people in every way, shape, or form, as long as it doesn't jeopardize the freedom of the person next to them. And that's, to me, is the definition of freedom. Freedom is freedom as long as it doesn't jeopardize the freedom of the person next to you. So, having said all that, again, Happy New Year pretty soon, within about half an hour. And in the meantime, let's look at what we have here. What we have is Stephen. Stephen says, Maron, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well, pretty soon. Stephen, 44, Los Angeles, male. Thank you for that. Stephen says, I'm grateful to be alive and for whatever I have in my life. Says I'm at work and have something on my mind. I don't think I'd be able to listen in as much. All right. Stephen says I'm upset that after that breakup, I spent almost a year in solitude. I didn't want to associate myself with anyone that we knew together. The only good thing that came out of this is I learned to be alone and not in a relationship like I was before. Stephen says, it's now at this point where I'm craving how my life once was. I think working night kind of screwed things up, also because I sleep in so late. But this week I changed that and now I'm up early more. Yeah, I also sleep late and I understand what you're saying, but there's a tranquility at nighttime. And so before I go further, let me address a little bit of this particular paragraph that you put in here. It says it's now at this point where I'm craving how my life once was. Well, not exactly. You crave the idea of being in a relationship and having a companion. But that doesn't mean that the companion that you did and the relationship that you did was any good or up to your standards. A human being is designed to forget things. For example, imagine women who get pregnant and they go through so much pain and discomfort for 9 months at least, or in most cases. And once they give birth to their child, with all that pain and suffering, all that time, and at birth, if they were not designed to forget pain and difficulties in life, what do you think their life would have been? In trauma and never wanted to have another baby, yet about a month or two after giving birth to their baby, they're ready to have another baby, even though it was so painful. So human being is designed to forget pain and focus on pleasure. And in situations like yours, that you feel like you crave the kind of life that you had, it's not that you wanted the pain that you had. It's just that you forget the pain that the kind of life that you had entailed, and you only remember the pleasure points of it. And that's why you crave what it was, although what it was terrible. And that's why you wanted to get out of it. And you're happy that you're no longer in that relationship with that girl, but you like the idea of relationship because you are designed like any other human being to forget the painful part of a relationship and only remember the good part of the relationship, because that's how we are designed and are able to survive throughout these ordeal of life and the happenings that often is not palatable or to our liking. So be mindful that you're not craving for that what was terrible, you're craving for a good, pleasurable, balanced relationship, which is a good idea. Steven says, I might begin looking for another job and on day shift. Also, even though I've got a lot of attention from women tonight, I started thinking that it's too late and won't find anyone, even though I don't believe it. Yeah, well, that's the nature of the intrusive mind and OCD and negative mind, that you always go to the extreme part of impossibilities when something wonderful is very possible and could be right around the corner. And as far as you being 44 and thinking that there's no time, just hogwash, just hogwash. You know that because from 40 to 55-year-old men, these are mostly desired by very younger women in their late 20s and early 30s, and maybe even mid 30s. But this is their preference. They want a man who has had his game and plays, want a man who's settled and has had some success in his career, want a man who has gone through ups and downs in life, has experience and patience. So they want a man who actually can take care of challenges of life and they can feel secure by being beside him. And you are one of those men. If that was the case, then me at the age 69 should go and pack up my bag and maybe make a reservation in the cemetery. But that's not true. We have shared many stories. And at age just about 60, I had a 26-year-old girlfriend, which means, and I actually was not the one who instigated the relationship. I was pursued because many women who are mature for their age and they're looking for quality, they cannot find that quality so easily. So they look further out, hoping that they would find someone that they would feel safe mentally, emotionally, and so on and so forth. So having said that, it means don't talk like that ever again, because what you're doing, you are putting out a certain vibe that the brain is usually going to find what you're talking about and try to find excuses to bring that to fruition, whether ideologically or physically, if it's possible. Like there are things about this sort that you say, oh, it's too late, then the brain will do whatever it can to make sure it's too late and you won't find anyone, you won't feel like finding anyone. And when you change it and say, I'm sure I'll find someone who's worthy of my attention and my love, and I'm looking for that person, and I know it's out there, then your brain will always be tuned in to actually make choices that it would lead you to bring in that what you asked to fruition. Now, so having said that, you say, yeah, you're finding a job that is daylight. Why not? Try it. Why not? You've got lots of experience now. But before you do that, ask the same place that you work. They say, listen, I want a day shift. It's enough. Enough is enough. Either day shift or I look somewhere else. Simple. Nicely. One moment, guys. Aha, good thing I caught it. I'm actually making some beet, like I'm cooking some beet, and I caught it just about this much left in the pan, in the pot before it burned. So that was good catch. Now let's see. It's very cozy at cold winter time to have a hot beet. I like that. When I was going to school, when I was in high school, usually these street vendors with these beets all skewed up, and in some kind of a kebab thingy, sort of all cooked and ready. You would go just give them a bit of money, and they would put it in a plate, chop it up for you. And the cold weather, snow all around, you would have pieces of hot beet. It was very pleasant. And so let's see, let's get back to what we were talking about and say, yeah, finding a job during daytime is good, and let them know that you're looking for that, and say maybe they will offer it to you. You have to look elsewhere. And now, and Steven says, I believe this, okay, no, don't worry about replying. I know you're working. No worries. And DFJC, which I don't know what that means did you freaking joy Christmas? I don't know. I just made up something. I don't know. So it says, hi, I'm Frank from India. And your age, please, if you don't mind, I need to know how old you are. So I'm Frank from India. I have been in a relationship with a girl for 5 years and got broken up. It's been 3 years last week. Oh, it's been 3 years that you've been broken up. She got married and she unblocked me in WhatsApp and made her picture seen by everyone. It takes me back to 3 years back. Instead, making her picture private, she made it to seen everyone. Don't know why. Because she's weak. Obviously, she thinks it's I don't know, it's like trying to say, I'm not a loser. I got somebody. Because otherwise, if she's broken up with you, why would she unblock you? Or perhaps she wants to say, there's no animosity. I wish you well, and I'm married now, and this and that, so forth. But the bottom line is, who cares? Who gives a damn? You're still hung up in why she did this or why she didn't do that, and what. Can you just move on with your life? Respect your life. Don't respect her life only. Wish her well. But respect your life, meaning you don't need anything from her. What is it? The sky's ass opened up and one woman fell down, and without that woman, you can't find another one, and you're so hung up to find out what she's doing, where she is, and if she unblocked me. Why is it so important that she unblocked you? She can go live her life and you live your life. And why are you still 3 years on and you still think of her? I can understand you can reminisce and think of good relationships that you had and enjoy for a moment or two in your mind and then move on with your life. Very pleasant, not a problem. But being hung up on someone that you broke up 3 years ago and you haven't moved on to find another girlfriend, I don't know if you have one or not, that's a mistake. And give me your age as well. Let me just go and see if you put that down. 25 years old. Okay, 25 years old. You have no business hanging around. 3 years ago, you were 22 years old. 22 years old, you don't know which end is up. You don't know what kind of person you are. You're still trying to find yourself. And thinking that at that age, that you didn't know who exactly you were, you knew exactly what kind of woman you wanted, and that was the one. Nonsense. So move on. Good riddance. And says, He says, I'm good for the past 2 years. After seeing her picture, she married to another guy. Don't know why my heart broken again. No, it's not broken. We are hunters. We see women often as a opportunity, and we like them, and we think of them as survival, nourishment. And so there was this girl that you were with, and you had good times. For one reason or another, you guys broke up. And now you think, oh, that was my opportunity. That was my hunt. And as a possessive species, we don't like to see our woman, even though we broke up with them, still be associating with another male. It's just a normal reaction, but it doesn't mean that you really want her. It just means that you are going into the memory and you're forgetting all the reasons that you guys broke up, and you're only thinking about all the selective good memories, pleasurable memories that you had, and now you miss that. And you see, and without thinking any further and separating the time, you're in the memory, you miss her, and you are with that kind of a relationship as you were with her in your memory, which there's no time. And now you feel it's fresh. You're in the memory, you're enjoying the pleasurable moments, and then you're faced with the fact that she's married with someone else. You get frantically rather concerned, and the anxiety sets in, and you feel like, oh, it's mine. But no, you've already finished with her 3 years ago. You just went into the memory and you remembered things in the memory. There's no time, and your brain thinks it's now happening now, and that feeling is now. Because when you go in the memory and you see her, the prerequisite file for desire is also there. There are certain steps to be taken before desire is formed. And those steps were taken, the prerequisites for desire to be born were taken many years ago, but still recorded in your memory. So when you saw her in the memory, the file, the prerequisite for desire for her also opened up, triggered it, opened up. And when it opened up, the brain doesn't understand things. Oh, the prerequisites for desire is already met. So you desire her again. You think it's all freshed up. But you got to remind yourself that, listen, that's an old feeling, even though it's going to affect me in a way that I would crave her, but that's not the reality. It's happening in my memory, and I should remind my memory that I had reasons, there were reasons, it didn't work out, we broke up. So you kind of make that dormant again. If you don't do that, you feel like, oh, I have to get her. I've missed the opportunity. I missed the hunt. I missed the chance. Somebody else got her. It's not true. And if there was a reason for you to break up, it wasn't satisfactory one way or another, whether you didn't want her or she didn't want you, whatever it wasn't two-way street. And if it wasn't, then good riddance. She can go with somebody else, because you don't want someone who doesn't want you. You don't want someone that the relationship with her doesn't work out, or it didn't work out. So leave her alone, let her go. Go after someone who wants you, or you want her, or it would work out, and that's the one you should be focused on. She says, why is she doing that? Okay. Who cares? You see, you shouldn't focus on why she broke up, why she did this, who gives a shit? Why are you playing into this game? That's the question. You're supposed to be protecting yourself and your future and what is good for you. And definitely this is not good for you. So move on. That's it. As simple as that. Move on. She's no be all, end all, nothing. What is she? It's another human being. She got to get up, wash her face, go shit and clean up and go work and make money and pay the rent. What do you think she is? Magical woman who's going to cure the common cold and feed the elderly and feed the children and heal the sick. No, what? It's another woman, didn't work out. No worries. Move on. And Joseph Casano is here. Says, Happy New Year, Marin. Happy New Year, dear. Don't forget, guys, part of the protocol is I need to know your age, gender, where you're tuning in from, because I don't remember, even though I know many of you have been here. but I don't remember. So don't forget, Joseph, including you, says how we properly focus on what is important and valuable to us while also accepting uncertainty and frame this in our mind the right way. Or do we just forget about all the bullshit and let it go? I don't know what you're talking about, Joseph. What's the context? And focus on our lives. Whenever I try to do the second option, I have this nagging voice in the back of my head that I have to accept uncertainty because this, along with ERP, is the gold standard. Listen, why are you worried about uncertainty? Uncertainty is what we have all been master in. Tell me one thing that was certain since you were born. There was nothing certain about it. You didn't know where your next meal was coming from. You didn't know if your mother will be there tomorrow when you were a kid. You didn't understand anything. You didn't know if you're going to pass your exam at school. You didn't know if you're going to find a good friend at school. You didn't know if your teacher's going to be good. You didn't know if your teacher's going to hit you or beat you or not. You know, you coming from that neck of the woods. I remember it was similar in Iran back when I was a kid. Yeah. You don't know. You didn't know if you would graduate or not. You didn't know if you would find a girlfriend or not. You wouldn't know if you would get a job or not. You wouldn't know if you would be fired the next day. You wouldn't know anything. So everything was uncertain. Yet we managed. That makes us master of being able to live in an uncertainty, which this world is all about. What has been certain in this world? Is it certain that tomorrow is going to be this kind of weather or that kind of weather? No, it could be changed in a dime. You don't know. Was it certain that we were going to have our values in this life and continue the old-fashioned values that we all enjoyed and appreciated and cherished? No, some assholes came along and called themselves globalists and start shitting all over the sky with some kind of a mist from the aeroplane, some chemical shit, and then called boys girls, girls boys, and anything you want to be and anything in between, and didn't even tell their parents. They start giving hormones. They changed the whole value, and boys use the girls' bathroom, and it's okay as long as you just feel like being a girl. And then participate in women's athletic world and athletic competitions. What happened? On what basis? Jeopardizing the rights of women just so that some men who think they're women feel comfortable? Well, that's not fair to the woman. It has to be something that everybody would be feeling accepted, welcome, and fair. So, did you know about these things? Were you certain that the world will not become like it? No, it just happened that suddenly a bunch of people decided to try to change the world. Well, so far they failed, but the uncertainty, nevertheless, is there. But we have managed to live in uncertainty. So uncertainty shouldn't scare you from any echelon, from the things that your brain makes, or the intrusive thoughts, or whatever it may be. So uncertainty is our specialty. So that is not something to fear. That's something to say, hey, I'm so good that I can handle anything. It's like you get on your ship as a captain of your ship, you go into the ocean, and you don't know what the weather is going to be. Or would you? If your trip is about 2 weeks, are you sure every single day of the 2 weeks is going to be sunny and smooth sailing? No. Uncertainty, tsunami, rain, thunder, could be anything. So you're always ready for uncertainty. You've always dealt with uncertainty. So stop this expectation of, this and that and uncertainty. Why should I accept? Well, because that's the way this world is. And you are an expert in that already. So don't worry about it. All right. I have this new video that I have made, which I believe is going to be very helpful to any of you guys who have some interest in learning more about your brain, especially about why ERP works and how to rewire your brain and get out of that unknowing feeling about what can I do, what is this, and what is that. So now this video that I just put the link up will It's about 30 minutes, and it's clearly helps you understand how the brain works and what you need to do and why the brain constantly comes up with these intrusive thoughts and how you can help it to rewire itself through neuroplasticity. Now we have Joseph that has helped the channel with 199 super chat. Thank you for that, Joseph. And we go to Joseph's 23 and I live in New York. All right. DFJC says, yeah, Mehran, I'm looking for other girls, but my mind is filled like, what if she too cheat or break up with me? What do you mean? So you go to a restaurant and they serve you food and you get sick. So you never go to a restaurant again? No other restaurant? What if you get sick there again? What are you talking about? Just because one restaurant fucked up on the meal, that doesn't mean everyone's going to. Nobody wants to give a bad service. Nobody wants to be bad, but there are some bad apples. Just because there is some bad apples doesn't mean the whole bushel is bad, the whole orchard is bad. You can't say that. That's ludicrous. That's stupid. So don't be stupid, because I know you're not stupid. So one girl cheated on you. Doesn't make everybody else a whore also. She's an asshole. Haven't you ever seen an asshole? They're asshole in any gender. Heterosexual assholes, homosexual assholes, women assholes, men assholes, assholes alike. You know, the way we go. This is a world of the assholes. Some people's asshole is smaller than the other ones, but they're all assholes. So, and we all are asshole one way or another, one day or the other day. But you shouldn't focus on the assholes. You should focus on the ones who are not an asshole, which they would have a problem with constipation, of course. So there must be a little bit of asshole to everybody. All right, I'm in a goofy mood. It's New Year Eve, and don't mind me. But what I'm trying to say is that don't judge everyone with the same, yardstick. She had a different consciousness, and she thought that's acceptable to her values. Find somebody with a value. It just tells you you picked wrong. You want to put it on her? Yeah, she's an asshole. She made a real bad thing to do. But also means you selected shitty. You could have probably seen it coming that you are in a relationship with an asshole. But because you think of yourself so greatly, you can't accept that you could have made a mistake and be in a relationship with an asshole. So you get surprised. Oh my goodness, she was the princess of the God knows where. Because why? Because I chose her. Well, who the fuck are you? You fucked up. You didn't choose well. She's an asshole for sure, and you didn't know how to select well. So learn from it and select better next time. And if she turned out to be an asshole, then next one. There's not only one or two women in this world, and there are amazing women out there. So you be on the lookout for one of those good ones. You know, it's an elimination process. You keep going, eventually find a good one. All right. Let's go. That means what? You got to have many girlfriends, so eventually you'll find one nice one. And yeah, Joseph, you need to watch that video, because people don't seem to understand what it is that ERP asks you to accept. So that video, I've explained it, and therefore it puts you all at ease and actually makes you understand what's going on. And yes, you see, Joseph says, can I simply let all of it go now that I know what's going on in my brain? You do know theoretically what's going on in your brain. But the brain, it's like saying, now that you know the rules and regulation of playing soccer, can I now consider myself a soccer champion or someone who plays great soccer? You know it mentally, logically, but now you got to put your body to work and exercise it to make it seamless, mind and body both coordinated. So the brain, intellectually, you know it, but the brain must now practice. So what you know becomes its practical training and its proper functioning. And then you rewired your brain from a miscalculations to understanding why such miscalculations happens, because it's a malfunction of the signaling system of the brain. And then you help the brain to, through practice and neuroplasticity, through the exercise of ERP, to come back to its default setting and function as it should according to your values. So, like anything else that we got to train, sometimes, we have bad habits and we train ourselves from bad habits to good habits. Sometimes we have no habits, it's easy, train ourselves to what we want to be trained. It's like you had a coach in tennis and taught you so many wrong, angles and hitting and holding the racket and everything. So the next coach need to help you to recover from those bad habits that the brain was malfunctioning, thought that's the way it should be behaving because it thought it's like protecting you or whatnot. Now with the ERP, you're helping it to come back to its harmony according to your gender and values rather than going off rail, because brain is not you, you're not the brain. Brain is an apparatus, and it's not always going to function as it's supposed to according to your values. It's just going to function as a separate entity, and separate entity doesn't have enough knowledge about how it should be behaving according to your values, so it just behaves often sometimes out of whack. So you got to help it to say, hey, listen, you are supposed to be behaving this way in my case, because it's a brain. It's not, it's mounted on your head, but it doesn't know about you because brain is not intelligent. It's just an apparatus, an organ. There is no intelligence center that was localized by neurosurgeons to find out that there's an intelligence center, there's a math center, there's a compassion center. No, it's dumb. It's an organ. So it can malfunction in different ways. So you got to help it and train it so it comes back to the setting that is appropriate to your usage, your values, and so on. It's 12:03, and happy new year to all of you. So we now entered officially to 2025, and I hope that this year would be a great year for all of us, for health, prosperity, learning, good experiences, and safety and success, also financially. So having the best wishes for you and your families, and we'll go on. Just hang on. Let me just say Happy New Year to my family as well. All right. So where are we now? And we have DFJC with some kind of a picture, which I don't know what it stands for. It's like bluish. I don't know what it means, but anyhow. And see us, Happy New Year, everyone. Miran, I will replay this entire video once a month. Yeah, for sure. Not a problem. I understand. And DFJC says, Happy New Year, Mehran. Your videos are great. Thank you. You're quite welcome. My pleasure. Delighted that you're enjoying them. And Joseph says, I have trouble dealing with the small probability of my irrational fear being true. No. See, it's OCD talking. So stop it, because that's what it does. Doubting disease. OCD is doubting disease. So it can be doubting anything. Even if you find an answer to that, it can doubt that, because it's the same brain that has the OCD is being used to judge and give opinion about your logic. It's going to doubt that too. It's like having a broken tire pressure gauge, and say, because it's a tire pressure, even though it's broken, I want to see what the tire pressure is. Well, it's going to give you the wrong value, but it's a tire pressure. Well, it's a tire pressure, but it's broken. You got to first fix it. You can't use the same tire pressure to get the right gauge from the tire just because there's a tire there and there's a tire pressure. You got to change the tire or fix the tire pressure to get the right reading. But you're not doing it in the case of your brain. As long as you're not doing it, it's going to give you doubt about your reasoning, about anything you come up with. It's going to doubt that. So stop questioning, stop believing your brain. You're not the brain, brain is not you. Stop believing your brain and you'll be free. That's the first step to freeing yourself from that garbage. All right. Now, looks like it's 50 minutes and 16, 17, 18 minutes and goes on. Let's see. No, you see, because it's an OCD brain and it's still going to be doubting, even you understand something, you're still going to be doubting. You got to condition it to understand what you're telling it and not doubt it. And when it doubts it, you need to not pay attention to the doubt by going and doing the 4 steps of Dr. Schwartz. So the brain sees that everything, every time that it doubts, you don't give it energy, you don't interact with it. You move on by recognizing this doubt and not paying it any fee for it, not paying attention to it, and refocusing to something positive. And eventually, by that behavior, the brain learns that it can't be right because it cannot get your attention when it behaves that way, and eventually learns that when it behaves and comes up with that kind of an assumptions, you're not interacting with it. So learns not to come up with those sort of thoughts. And little by little, it diminishes it, and learns that that is not something that is of acceptable nature by constantly trying to come up with these intrusive thoughts. The ERP is helping you to retrain the brain by making the sensitivity out of what you seem to be sensitive about. That's why I want you to, instead of getting me talking about it, I've made a 30-minute video for you, which I put the link up. You watch that, you'll understand exactly what it is that you want to understand. Now, my question is, guys, there's so many millions of people around the world, and YouTube has so many, patrons. We ourselves have about 28,000 subscribers. I wonder every time I go live, why is it that there's only 6 people here? Especially with the quality of talk that we have. Something is wrong. And hopefully, eventually, I'll be changing to, or at least I would have some live streams in Rumble as well, because I'm moving many of my videos. In fact, all of my videos. There is a company in Pakistan that is a brilliant bunch of people that they are helping to move copy of all my videos to Rumble and separate the OCD channel and the relationship channel. And we are making a new site to make it more user-friendly, and the SEO is going to be taken into consideration. And they're helping to maybe bring invite and make it more interesting for people to, or easy for people to find the channel. Somehow, I don't see YouTube being cooperative with my channel. It's been 13 years, and yes, yet this is it. It's supposed to shoot. I should be having 2 million subscribers, which all of you have attested to that. The quality of our work here is so that we should have at least 2 or 3 million subscribers, but we don't. Somehow it looks like, I think we're shadow banned. Why? I don't know. So anyhow, Joseph says, Mehran, how do you find joy in helping others as you do? Oh, I do. Because I know pain is not good. Because I know intrusive thoughts are not good. Because I know I've gone through all these different stages of OCD and so on, including HOCD and everything at the old age. But I was old school, so I wouldn't be intimidated about the gender part of it. But because I had a strong mind, I analyzed and went through it and made it so deep for myself and opened it up and even encouraged all the shit that the brain was making. I made more of it. So brain finally noticed that he doesn't give a shit. He's not sensitive about it. So I can't do anything. Well, I just gave up. Started being the way it was all my life. And I know how painful it is. But for the people, when I started learning about the stuff that I learned, which was in the result of a few years of research, a thorough research on all fronts, including my 10, 12 years research in understanding the inner movement of the psyche, it helped me very much to be able to deliver what couldn't be delivered easily by most psychologists unless they were specialized in that field. Because not every psychologist can understand what we're talking about. So if you're going to psychologists, make sure that it's a specialist in OCD and OCD subsets. So when I understood all these things, and because I knew how painful it could be, how troubling it could be, especially for younger people, I would feel great when I would help someone to feel cheerful again, to see that there is nothing wrong with him. It's just a glitch of the brain, and you got to learn it and then learn the techniques to help the brain like any other part of your muscles and body and organs that falls into some kind of a irregularity. And then you find either through exercise, you fix the muscle, or if it's an organ, through some kind of a regimen or repetitious regimen again, you fix it, you help it, you heal it. And so that gives me great pleasure if I could have anything to do, anything positive to do with someone regaining their confidence and regaining the actuality of how everything was for them, how everything is, and nothing's going to be changed, and showing them through scientific research, through methods that is devised by specialists such as Dr. Schwartz and many other experts in this field, Dr. Jan Reinert, Dr. Philipson, and all these experts. They have their own videos on YouTube, and they help people to understand and help with these deficiencies, these disorders. That's all they are, disorder. And you can fix that. Yeah, Joseph, yeah, you can fix it. Just take your steps that is necessary, and it's not something you should be really worried about. DFJC says, thanks, Mehran, for your words. But only regret I have is who made mistake in my past relationship. Sometimes feels like I made, sometimes feels like she made. My mind is like monkey. Well, listen, doesn't matter who made it. We all make mistakes. There's no one in any relationship anywhere in the world who hasn't made a mistake or doesn't make a mistake. And they're not mistakes. They're the way it should be, because you don't intend to make mistakes. You make a certain decision that you believe at the time that's a correct decision. If later on comes out to be the wrong decision, well, you didn't know at the time that you were making it. But nobody wants to make a wrong decision. So these decisions are just based on your character, your values, and you're following your own character and values. Her values could be different, your values could be different, and then you end up thinking that she made a mistake or you made a mistake. It just means you are different characters, and that means if there are enough of these mistakes, so to speak, you're supposed to go each on your own way and not be together, because you can't constantly spend your lifetime trying to fix mistakes. If there's so many mistakes, fuck it. You don't have that time. Constantly angry and upset and misunderstanding, and it changes in your behavior, changes in your mood, and your blood pressure goes up, and you get angry and you can't do your things. What the fuck is this? Get hell with that kind of relationship. That is giving you all the signals that this is not the correct matchup. Giving you the clue to let go on, find someone else that you will see if you have more things in common, and things will move uh, more seamlessly and in harmony. And that's what you should do. So this business of I made a mistake, or if I shouldn't have mistake, if I could have, why do you think you made a mistake? Why not she made a mistake? Why not both of you made a mistake? Why not who gives a fuck who made the mistake? It was done. It turned out that way. That means it wasn't suitable. That's the conclusion. And for that, you should be happy. Why do you think that something that is not working and jiving or synchronized together must be synchronized? And now that it was so much painful and we broke up, but I'm thinking, if I didn't do that, if you didn't do any of the things that you did, then you wouldn't be you. You were you and she was her, and you guys did what you had to do, and you thought it's the best thing that you could do at the time. Later on, you found that it didn't work out because the other one didn't like it. Okay. If that happens too often, that means you guys shouldn't be together. That's all. So nothing wrong with you just because she's not with you and she's laying with somebody else. That means you're not a good person. No, fuck that behavior. Go on with your life. She's not the one who gives you your value, or you're not the one who gives it. You just find your own perfect state of being. And that needs, if it's not working together, you find somebody else. That's all. No regrets. What's the regret? Why are you regretting? Well, she was what? Queen of the world? What? Healer? What? She was paying your rent, or she was helping you to breathe? What the hell was it that so important? No, you're not in love with someone that the relationship with her doesn't work. But you still want her because you are in love to please and satisfy your desire. You are following your desire. You're in love with your desire. We are all in love with our desire for something. We want to fulfill our desire with the pleasure, or with conquering, or bringing that thing that the desire is desiring. It's not that person. If it's not working, it's not that person that you still want her. You want her because your desire wanted the pleasure through her, not that she was the right choice for you. Because you're not stupid. You see she's not the right choice one way or another. You don't want her, but you still feel you want her. Why? Because your desire, you're in love with your desire. You're programmed to fulfill your desire, and your desire hasn't given it up yet. So you got to tell your desires, fuck off. I'm the boss. You will take what I give you. You eat what I feed you. So shut the fuck up. I'm not going to follow the desire. I'm not in love with my desire. I would take pleasure from what I desire if I could fulfill it. But if it's logical for me to go after that, if it fits my values, if it's worth my while, if it's up to my standards. So I go back to the famous saying of mine that it's not enough that it makes you feel good. You got to watch that what makes you feel good is also good for you. So just because something is just because something is making you feel good, that doesn't mean it's also good for you. People overdrink and get drunk, and their brain cells die, and their kidney and liver get malfunction and fucked up, but they feel good, huh? So just because something makes you feel good, it doesn't mean it's also good for you, because the alcohol fucks you up, or drugs. I'm sure it makes you feel good. That's why people do it. There's dopamine coming out of it. But just because it makes you feel good, this is also good for you. Everybody knows it's not good for you. Yeah? So you got to make sure that whatever you get involved in, just because it makes you feel good, that doesn't mean it's the right thing. It also must be good for you. So two things to consider. Does it make me feel good? Oh, yeah, it does. Is it good for me? No, it's not. Then fuck it. I don't want it. Then you're done. All right. Yeah, Joseph. Yeah, you got to go with the gold standards and take advice from experts. Again, watch the videos of famous psychologists who are specialized in OCD, such as Dr. Schwartz, Dr. Philipson, Dr. Jan Rayner. And all these people who have their videos on YouTube, and you find them and learn it. And if you can afford them, call them, make an appointment, and then discuss your issues with. You can also, if you wish, go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com. Mindthatseekstruth.com. Make an appointment and we'll discuss what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype, whether it's about relationship and breakups or it's about OCD, OCD subsets, intrusive thoughts, and HOCD. All right, guys. It's about 1 hour and 5 minutes. I think we've had all the questions that we could answer. We don't have any more new people here. It's unfortunate. I would have expected 500 to 5,000 people here if it was a regular, properly administered on this platform. But somehow something doesn't jive. So I may have to pack up and go to Rumble and see how that goes. So in the meantime, guys, it's time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to our next live stream. In the meantime, be safe, have a good holiday, don't drink too much, don't drive when you drink, and be good to yourselves and to the others always. I'll talk to you soon. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mindthatseekstruth.com, making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.